Math, music and sacred geometry, angles and dimensions. When you heard that sound, a perfect fifth, what did you feel? For some of you, perhaps a sense of harmony, resolution, even a touch of the divine. This isn't coincidence. That feeling comes from mathematics, specifically, a 3-to-2 frequency ratio that our brains recognize as inherently balanced. I've spent the last decade exploring the intersections of mathematics, music, and what many cultures have called sacred geometry. And I've discovered something remarkable. Many of our spiritual and mystical concepts are attempts to describe mathematical realities that we couldn't yet explain. Today, I want to take you on a journey where angels become angles, demons become dimensions, and the spiritual and scientific worlds reveal themselves as different languages describing the same reality. The mathematical cosmos. The ancient Pythagoreans had a saying, all is number. They weren't being metaphorical. They genuinely believed that mathematics was the fundamental language of reality, and they might have been right. Consider this, the word angel comes from the Greek angelos, meaning messenger. Angels were described as beings that could move between realms, heaven and earth, the divine and human worlds. Now consider the mathematical concept of an angle, a meeting point between two lines, creating a pathway between different planes. Is it mere coincidence that these words sound similar? Or did our ancestors use spiritual language to describe mathematical concepts they couldn't yet formalize? Similarly, our concept of demons, forces that move between dimensions, that transform reality, shares linguistic roots with our word dimension. Both come from roots meaning to measure through. Both describe forces that operate across different planes of existence. What if these weren't just metaphors, but attempts to understand higher dimensional mathematics through the language available at the time? The music of the spheres. What you're hearing is the overtone series, a mathematical sequence that occurs naturally when any note is played. The ancient Greeks called this the music of the spheres. They believed the planets themselves created harmonies as they moved through their orbits. Now, we understand this as physics, as wave functions and frequency ratios. But the wonder remains the same. Look at these ratios. 1-to-2 creates an octave, the most fundamental musical relationship 2-to-3 creates a perfect fifth, the second most consonant interval 3-to-4 creates a perfect fourth. These same ratios appear repeatedly in what we call sacred architecture, the proportions of the Great Pyramid at Giza, the design of the Parthenon, and the structure of Gothic cathedrals. These weren't arbitrary aesthetic choices. These mathematical relationships create a sense of harmony and balance that our brains inherently recognize, a mathematical language that transcends culture and time. Dimensions beyond perception. Sacred geometry isn't just beautiful, it's functional. It helps us understand complexity. Consider the Platonic solids, the tetrahedron, cube, octahedron, dodecahedron, and icosahedron. These are the only 5 possible regular polyhedra, and they were considered by Plato to be the building blocks of the physical universe. Now we know that atoms don't look like tiny dodecahedra. But the mathematics that describes these perfect forms is the same mathematics that helps us understand quantum physics, string theory, and the hidden dimensions proposed by modern theoretical physics. When ancient mystics spoke of higher realms and unseen dimensions, they were attempting to articulate concepts that today's physicists describe with equations about 11-dimensional spacetime. The language changed, but the wonder at the underlying mathematical reality remains the same. Patterns that connect. Today, we're discovering these same mathematical patterns in unexpected places. The Fibonacci sequence appears in everything from galaxy formation to the arrangement of leaves on a stem. Fractal patterns emerge in coastlines, cloud formations, and even stock market fluctuations. Networks of all kinds, from neural networks to social networks, follow similar mathematical principles. Visual examples of these patterns in nature. Our modern AI systems are essentially pattern recognition machines, finding the mathematical relationships that humans have always sensed but couldn't always articulate. In a way, they're helping us see the divine design that mystics have spoken of throughout history. The neurological connection. But why do these mathematical relationships affect us so profoundly? When we hear musical harmony or see geometric balance, specific neural pathways activate. Our brains evolved to recognize patterns as a survival mechanism. When we perceive mathematical harmony, our neural reward systems activate. We experience pleasure, even a sense of the transcendent. This is why sacred spaces across cultures use similar proportions. It's why music therapy can alter brain states. It's why mathematical beauty can feel spiritual. Bringing it together. So where does this leave us? Are angels just angles and demons just dimensions? Is the sacred merely mathematics? I would suggest a different perspective. Mathematics isn't just anything. It's the fundamental language of reality, a language so profound that our ancestors could only approach it through metaphor and mysticism. Understanding the mathematical basis of harmony doesn't diminish its beauty, it enhances it. Knowing that musical consonance comes from frequency ratios doesn't make it less moving. Seeing the fractal patterns in sacred architecture doesn't make it less awe-inspiring. We stand at a fascinating crossroads of human understanding. With one foot in the scientific domain of mathematics and physics, and another in our deeply human need for meaning and wonder. The beauty of this intersection is that we don't have to choose. The mathematical precision of the universe and our sense of wonder at its harmony are not in opposition, they're complementary ways of engaging with the same reality. So the next time you hear a perfect chord, or stand in a space that feels somehow sacred, or glimpse a pattern that seems to echo across different scales of existence, remember that you're experiencing something that has moved humans throughout history. The language has changed, but the wonder remains the same.